In Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Chancellor Palpatine was extremely respected. As his powers and ranking in the Senate grew, so did the size of his office in correlation, and with it, his image as a public figure in the galaxy. Palpatine originally started out in the Senate, when we see him in Episode 1, working with his master Darth Plagueis in the shadows to rise to power, eventually becoming Chancellor, Supreme Chancellor, and then later, Emperor. Palpatine was a complete sociopath when it came to politically slithering his way into the people's favor and becoming elected higher and higher up the food chain. So it comes to wonder, we never really saw the galaxy's reaction to Palpatine's fight with the Jedi, other than the little clip of him fake whimpering about the assassination attempt on his life that left him scarred and disfigured. The public actually never understood what really happened that night. It was always pushed under the rug, or rather, out the window. Well, our answers have finally arrived, and they're canon. In the book Tarkin, there is a narrative dialogue that goes on in the mind of the Grand Moff when he's speaking to Palpatine, thinking about that night. I'm going to read it now and then analyze it with you after. Here we go. The Emperor swiveled his chair towards the light, and Tarkin glimpsed his sepulchral visage, the molten skin beneath his eyes, the bulging forehead. After all these years, he was still not accustomed to it.
When one consorts with vipers, one runs the risk of being struck.
The Emperor had told Tarkin following the attack on him by a quartet of Jedi Masters. There were many stories about what had occurred that day in the Chancellor's office. The official explanation was that members of the Jedi Order had turned up to arrest the Supreme Chancellor, and a ferocious duel had ensued. The matter of precisely how the Jedi had been killed or the Emperor's face deformed had never been settled to everyone's satisfaction, and so Tarkin had his private thoughts about the Emperor as well. That he and Vader were kindred spirits suggested that both of them might be Sith. Tarkin often wondered if that wasn't the actual reason Palpatine had been targeted for the arrest or assassination by the Jedi. It wasn't so much that the Order wished to take charge of the Republic, it was that the Jedi couldn't abide by the idea of a member of the ancient order that they opposed and abhorred, emerging as the hero of the Clone Wars and assuming the mantle of Emperor. What I like about this is that Tarkin really hits the nail on the head. He thinks how the Jedi arrested Palpatine wasn't necessarily because they wanted to control the Republic, but rather because they just couldn't handle a Sith Lord becoming the hero in the eyes of the people. How would that look on them and everything they stood for? The Jedi would be rendered useless in either situation. It just so happens after the attempt on Palpatine's life, they were almost entirely extinct.